BBM, hindi diplomatiko yun.
Halina kayo, Katatay Jack, First Channel. Pag siya ay nagsasalita, maiintindihan mo ang mga balita. Mga balitang tunay na may ebidensya. Itutuwid ang balitang mali. Ang fake news. Yung mga balitang walang pinagbabasihan. Kaya makinig na kayo at magkomento at ating pag-usapan. Pinapakinggan ang opinion mo at ito'y nirespeto. Tayo'y magtalakayan at may kantahan dito. Pantay-pantay tayo lahat kay Tatay Jack. Tatay Jack, First Channel. First Channel. Nagmamahal, loyalista ating Pangulo. Para sa bayan nito, minamahal ni Tatay Jack ang bayang Pilipino. Kaya halina kayo, mag-subscribe na at mag-bell all para sa susunod. Dapat malaman nyo ang balitang tunay sa ating bansang Pilipinas. Sa pinakahanapulay, loyalista at nagmamahal sa ating mga Pilipino. Kaya tinutuwid ang balitang mali, ang fake news. Kaya mag-urumento na at magpanongay. Pantay-pantay tayo dito. Pinapakinggan ang opinion mo at respeto. Tayo pinagbabasihan dito. At may kantahan pa, Tatay Jack. Tatay Jack.
Okay. Thank you. This is the political part of my Sunday broadcast. The time now in Lodi, California is 10:15. Okay. So patugtog muna tayo ng ating national anthem.
Kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Ayan magiging sa sinamanan, alam ng puso sa nagiko'y buhay. Lupang dinigang, bulan ka ng magiging, sa panlulupin, di ka masisiyo. Sa nagkapangulo, sa sibuyan, sa namin ang mga, ang nalabang tula at tawid sa kaya pinamahan. Ang isla ng wakamang buwan ay nanalinig, ang ituloy at ang magpagpayan, ang may pinagtinig. Luwan ang araw, ay pagsikat, ay naging sa piling mo. Ang nilaya na ay makakamit, sa mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Mga kababayan,
Okay. Okay. Hey, Daniel. Okay. Maunang paalala. Di pa ito napapublish sa news po. Nagsalita na si President Bongbong Marcos tungkol sa kanyang kapatid, sa kanyang she's going to stand alone. But first and foremost, kailangan nating ipaalam kung ano ang channel natin. Ito pong channel natin ay channel ni Gibo Tudoro. Channel ni Gibo Tudoro to. Basahin ko na lang. Ito ang channel ng Gibo Tudoro for President 2028. Makiisa sa Gibo for Tudoro for 2028 for President Movement. Secretary Gibo Tudoro ang karapat-dapat na maging presidente sa 2028. Kanina puro kantahan kasi ayaw kong haluan ng politika ang stress reliever po. Pero dito po ay pure politics po. Si Gibo Tudoro ang ating ini-endorso na maging kandidato sa 2028. Dahil siya ay tapat sa ating Pangulo at tapat sa kanyang trabaho at hindi siya nagrereklamo. Tulungan natin si Gibo Tudoro na makilala ng mga tao, ng mga butante, mag-subscribe na kayo dito sa aking channel. Ang current subscription po ay tumaas. 5,746 na po. Dito sa channel Jax, Tatay Jax Analysis and Opinion channel. Protektahin natin si PBBM ang ating bansa sa mga politicians na who are only looking out for their personal interest and are without honor, integrity, and have no sense of justice. Sabi ng Presidente, there is no room in this government for anyone who places personal interest above serving the Filipino people with honor, integrity, and justice. That's what the President Marcos said. Ito na po, mga paalala ko sa inyo. Manindigan po sana lahat ng may malasakit sa ating bayan sa tamang adhikain at prinsipyo. Mahalin natin ang bansa natin kaysa sa mga iniidolong politiko. Ang tama ay tama, maski si Presidente Marcos ay nagsabi niyan, dapat suportahan at purihin, ang mali ay mali, dapat labanan at batikusin. Labanan natin ang mga fake news na sumisira sa ating bansa. Mag-unsubscribe na po kayo sa kanya. Palakin po natin ang mga hindi fake news channel katulad ng Tatay Jack First Analysis and Opinion. Tapos puso pong nagpapasalamat si Tatay sa mga preferred and regular members niya. Maraming salamat kay Papa B na nag-perform kanina, kay Reyna Lintek at sa kanyang team Lintek sa pagtulong sa channel ni Tatay Jack First. Hindi ko rin makakalimutan Team Kulich, she's the channel ng Hong Kong Angels, si Mami Monique Barkman, and SSTV family. At saka may bago pong nadagdag, the official auto supporters. Okay. Orlando, official team Orlando po. Okay. Salamat din sa kanila. Thank you sa patuloy niyong pagsubaybay sa pagsuporta sa mga elders ni Tatay. So we have done with that. So punta na tayo sa ating mga balita. Okay. Kamakailan ay umayaw si Superates sa what we call alyansa ng mga partido sa pagkakandidato 2025. Ang sabi ko, parang binastos po ba si PBBM? Okay. Ito po. I-explain ko mamaya kung bakit sinabi ko yan. Pero ito po, nagsalita na si Presidente Marcos tungkol po dyan. Mabait talaga si Presidente. Okay. Ayusin ko lang ang aking isang gadget. Mabait talaga siya. Okay, ito po ang video. Hindi pa ito napapublish. Kabago-bago pa lang. Saan yun? Pumunta siya sa Gigafactory. Nag-inaugurate, trabaho ang ating presidente. So, hindi pa muna siya ma-interview. Siya, hindi ko pala.
Ambassador,
Ikaw pala.
Excellency HKU, are the ones who are helping us in the vanguard
natin, no?
of rolling out trade investment between the Philippines and Australia as easy as a country, easier than in other countries. So welcome, Excellency HK.
Okay. Pasensya na kayo, hindi talaga teki si tatay. Okay.
Your Excellency, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., the President of the Republic of the Philippines.
Yan ang katakataka, ang ambassador from Australia is a Korean.
Distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen, magandang tanghali sa inyong lahat. First, I would like to start by congratulating Sen Baker, a proud Australian firm who has stood up Sen B Gigafactory in record time. I'm sure many of you will remember it was only just over 6 months ago that we had the pleasure of citing the signing of the MOU, which, of course, none other than
Yan ang trabaho ng presidente. Okay. Nagtatrabaho siya. Okay.
President Marcos actually provided as witness.
Yan.
And here we are. How fantastic is this? I would say that today we are witnessing our strategic partnership in action. Our two countries are working very closely together, not just government to government, but business to business and people to people, to together create a world that we both want to live in. One that is peaceful, stable, and prosperous. Not just for us now, but for our future generations as well. And this Senbi Gigafactory is a fantastic example of how governments and businesses can work together to tackle even the biggest challenge the world is facing right now, climate change. And while doing so, contribute to the prosperity of both our countries. How amazing is that? How amazing is that? This is exactly what we want. So together, Australia and the Philippines, we are making important strides towards the world of our
Yay!
And I believe that with Mr. President, your staunch support for our bilateral relationship, we will all be inspired and energized to keep this work going, to work together, to create the world that not only we deserve, but our future generations deserve. So thank you so much for having me here. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay. Thank you.
Mabuhay. Maraming salamat. Thank you, Ambassador Yu and Chairman Saint Baker. At this point, may we call on the Department of Trade and Industry Acting Secretary, Cristina Aldeguer Roque, to introduce our guest of honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency.
Okay. Salamat, Trexie. Salamat, Ubach. Salamat, General Opinions. Okay? Salamat sa mga manunood. Mag-subscribe na po kayo. Mag-like po kayo. Okay?
Si Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Thank you to the DTI Secretary, Chris Roque. Please, Australian Ambassador to the Philippines, Her Excellency He Kyung Yu, the St. B Gigafactory Incorporated Chairman, Trevor Baker, the Basis Conversion Development Authority Chairman, Thompson Lanchon, General Tom, Capas Tarlac City Mayor, Rosela Rodriguez, the Philinvest Development Corporation Vice Chairman, Lourdes Josephine Gotiano Miap, St. B Gigafactory Incorporated officials, fellow workers in government, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. If you will notice, I have this silly grin on my face, and that is because this is really a very, very exciting day for us. And we have worked very hard and tried to do our best to bring this kind of technology to the Philippines with a clear recognition that this is the future. And today we see that. The future, we take a big step into the future. So now we are, as you say, entering a new age where the battery technology has taken, is front and center in all that we are trying to do. When the term lithium iron phosphate came out, well, we thought this is another complicated technology, and perhaps it belongs in very sophisticated operations such as space travel and the like. However, that now is completely different because we have that technology now here in the Philippines. And this promises to be a first step in all that we are hoping to do, not only to help not only to help and create jobs for Filipinos, not only to bring a transfer of technology to the Philippines, but also because we now are able to do a very solid and serious step in mitigating and adapting to climate change. This is something perhaps that we would hear, perhaps when we first heard this is something that just a scientist would be using. These are terms that only scientists would be using, but no longer, because we are now in the middle of a technological storm. We may not be launching rockets just yet, but despite the weather's best attempts, we are stepping boldly into the future. A future that is sustainable, innovative, and transformative. This inauguration of the St. B Giga factory is a remarkable example of what happens when our national agenda of promoting clean energy intersects with a solid commitment from the private sector. Your Excellency, Ambassador, you hit the nail on the head there. This is the best example that we can show, not only because we have finally brought it to fruition, but we brought it to fruition in what I consider to be record time. In fact, this development is among the pledges that we received during the Philippine Business Forum in Australia, Melbourne, last March, in Canberra. 6 months later, we are witnessing how this pledge has come into reality. I cannot overstate the importance of this investment, hence the silly grin on my face. It sends this message to the world. The Philippines is now ready to innovate, to lead, to become the go-to destination for high-tech, high-impact investments. As the first manufacturing plant in the Philippines for advanced iron phosphate batteries, often used in renewable energy and electrical vehicles, the same
Ayun, magpo-produce na tayo ng vehicles na somewhat ng battery for electric vehicles. That is a major development in our Philippine economy. Yan po ang trabaho ng presidente natin. Okay.
St. B Gigafactory sets the stage for the Philippines to become a player in clean storage and in clean energy storage in our part of the world, in Southeast Asia, in our region. Looking towards the future, when this factory reaches full capacity, it's expected to channel 5 billion pesos into the economy annually.
No,
It will create 2,500 jobs for Filipinos. And these are not just regular jobs. These are very important high-tech jobs, which is where these are the quality jobs that we would like to bring to our countrymen. So from engineers and technicians to administrative personnel, it is about nurturing homegrown talent and offering opportunities that match the ambitions right here on our own soil. When St. B Giga hits full capacity by 2030, it will be producing 2 gigawatt hours of batteries annually. This is the equivalent to around 18,000 electric vehicles, almost 500,000 home battery systems. This facility runs in tandem with the Philippines' renewable energy landscape as we transition our country to renewable energy. Your products could help entice more investors in renewable energy facilities in the country. The upstream and the downstream businesses that will come from this are just going to be tremendous. We also welcome St. B Giga's plan to enter the EV product market in the coming years. This certainly aligns with our plans to develop the country's EV industry and produce locally made EVs and EV components, reducing our reliance on imported fuel. To promote local engineering talent, and this is another very exciting aspect to what we have opened here today, St. B Giga also has committed to set up partnerships with Philippine academic and industry institutions. We hear very much in this day and age about the transition into the digital space, the transition into high-tech industries. And the key to the success of that transition,
Ito po mga kaibigan, hindi pa nalalathala sa mga newspapers. Kalalive lang nito.
is the buzzwords now are reskilling and upskilling. And that is why we hold very much important to the training that will be received by our by local Filipinos, and who will be able to take that new skills, the new knowledge, and bring it to operations such as this. With renewable energy sources, and while they were once, and EVs were once seen as just options, they must now be our path forward to adapt and to mitigate the effects of climate change. Every step that we make towards sustainable energy development is an investment in a brighter, healthier future
Mamaya yung
for our country. To the entire team behind
mamaya yung statement niya about Zenami, okay?
the St. B Gigafactory, thank you for taking this leap of faith with us. You have established a foundation for a cleaner, greener, and more prosperous Bagong Pilipinas. And to the rest of us, I will say, don't blink. Change is happening faster than you think, even when faced with challenges like Typhoon Julian. While we are here discussing innovation, the government is working behind the scenes. Thousands of family food packs are now being prepared. Healthcare centers are on high alert, and our farmers and fisher folk are taking steps to safeguard their livelihoods. The Typhoon Julian is going to pass north of the Philippines, so those in regions 1, 2, and 3, as well as NCR and CAR, know that we are not just talking about resilience. We are making it happen. So if you are an entrepreneur, a startup, an industry leader wondering where to place your next big bet, look no further. We have the talent, certainly the determination, and now the infrastructure to make your boldest ideas a reality, even if the weather tries to say otherwise. Let us remember why we are doing this. Beyond the figures and the projections and the technology, it comes down to our shared responsibility to our environment and to the next generation. Once again, congratulations to everyone who has been involved, both in the private sector and in the public sector, in making this a reality. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat, at sama-sama nating isulong ang isang mas matatag na bagong Pilipinas. Magandang tanghali po sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat, mahal na Pangulo. Thank you, Mr. President. May we request the President to kindly remain on stage.
Yan, ito na. Ito na yung sinasabi ko. I spoke about the tsunami.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. May we request everyone to please remain seated until the President has left the venue.
Okay.
Maraming salamat.
Magantay lang tayo ng konti.
So we're just watching it and seeing
Sorry for the mahinang audio ng video.
pagkatapos pagdaan ng bagyo hanggang sa ngayon, meron lang talagang we're still having to wait for the water to come down and to do everything for the water to come down. Pero hindi pa ito, mag-intensify pa ito eh. So we'll have to watch until it's finished. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Oh, yeah. No, that's premature. Wait. Pabayaan muna natin si Secretary Ampalos bago naman natin. Parang I don't want him to feel that we're already pushing him out. Since considering especially that he's done such a good job as the ILG. So when he will file, we will also announce his success. I'm sorry?
Ilan po yung nasa shortlist ng Papa?
Kakaunti lang. Kakaunti lang. Kakaunti lang. Now there are two.
So, ang shortlist papalit ng DILG, dadalaw na lang. Sino kaya? Most probably, ewan ko.
Mr. President, would you like to react? Your sister
Yeah.
wishes to
Ito. Anong reaction niya sa sister niya na parang binastos siya? Explain ko mamaya kung bakit parang binastos siya.
alone
Well,
for running as re-electionist.
yep, that's fine. That happens. I've run
Okay, mabait talaga. That's fine. Sabi niya. Siyempre, kapatid niya, ate niya eh.
independent myself many times. And so that is her choice. I suppose it gives her
That is her choice. Pero intay kasi ni siya namin na i-announce yung listahan. Hindi na niya sinabi kay Presidente na huwag mo na ako yung sali dyan. Kaya pambabasos yun.
a little bit more scope and freedom
Mhm.
to
Ulitin
make
na-
her schedule the campaign in the way that she would like to do. But, the Alianza is still behind her. We are still continuing to support her. And if down the road she chooses to join us in our campaign sorties, she is of course very welcome.
Ulitin natin ha. Mabait talaga ang Presidente. Hindi nagtatanim ng galit.
So we're just watching it and seeing what will be the next, what will be needed. Pagkatapos, pagdaan ng bagyo, hanggang sa ngayon, meron lang talagang we're still having to wait for the water to come down and to do everything for the water to come down. Pero hindi pa ito, mag-intensify pa ito eh. So we'll have to watch until it's finished. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Oh, yeah. Bro, that's premature. Wait. Pabayaan muna natin si Secretary Ampalos bago naman natin. Parang I don't want him to feel that we're already pushing him out. Since considering especially that he's done such a good job as the ILG. So when he will file, we will also announce his success.
Pero sir, ilan yung nasa shortlist?
I'm sorry?
Ilan po yung nasa shortlist ng Papa?
Kakaunti lang. Kakaunti lang. Kakaunti lang. Now there are two.
Mr. President, would you like to react? Your sister
Yeah.
wishes to stand alone
Well,
for running as re-electionist.
yep, that's fine. That happens. I've run as an independent myself many times. And so that is her choice. I suppose it gives her a little bit more scope and freedom to make her own schedule and to campaign in the way that she would like to do. But, the Alianza is still behind her. We are still continuing to support her. And if down the road she chooses to join us in our campaign sorties, she is of course very welcome.
So, President, I'm expecting more investment.
I cannot, one at a time.
How are you tracking?
Well, I didn't, well, I did, we're proud that we got it done, but I'm quite impressed with St. Pigiga that they were able to do this in the short time that we had. Marso lang namin pinirmahan ito, nandito na 6 na buwan. And
Anin na buwan lang ha.
This is the first of only three. This is only the first of 3 buildings. So the investment is a major one, and it is a major investment in a very critical industry. Siguro mula nung ako'y umupo, naririnig nyo na ako nagsasalita tungkol sa batteries, tungkol sa EVs, the electrical vehicle, tungkol sa renewables. Well, eto na ito. We actually managed to do it and with our partners from St. Pigiga and with the very strong alliance that we have with the government of Australia. But again, this is again a perfect example of kaya namin lagi napapag-usapan yung PPP dahil ganito ang maaring gawin kapag nag-PPP together government at saka private sector ay nag-uugnay at pareho nagsasang-ayon kung ano yung kailangan gawin. At mabilis itong nangyari. And yes, I'm certainly very happy. And I'm very proud for all of those who were involved in the day-to-day that brought this day about. All right? Salamat. Salamat.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a resounding applause for the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Okay, that's it. Narinig nyo, si Presidente, hindi masyado pa rin mabait. Okay, so tignan natin ang unang komento. Tignan natin ang unang komento. Galing kay sa pinakamagaling na commentator in SOCMED, si GNL. He is commenting on something. Okay, Sen Amy thinks that she must be all that to the point of embarrassing her brother publicly. Right on point po, Mr. GNL. She wanted to protect herself from embarrassment by not being included in PBBM's list of senatorial candidates. Precisely. She had all the time to withdraw from the senatorial list of the Alianza, that she waited until it was announced. Isn't that pambabastos? She had all the time. Bakit nung in-announce, yung saka siya nag-withdraw? Kayo na ang humusga kung mali po ang aking analysis. She wanted to embarrass his younger brother, pero mabait pa rin si PBBM. Again, you think of this. Sabi pa ni GNL, dito po, pag nag-comment po kayo, babasahin ko na kagad yan. She waited to withdraw after the announcement. That is why I consider it pambabastos. Paglalagay sa alanganin sa kanyang nakababatang kapatid. Only to show the DDS na hindi siya kampi kay PBBM. Gagamit, pa-victim effect din siya. Dahil sa ading niya, kaya siya nag-withdraw. Ano yan? Kadramahan, pa-victim rin. Gumagaya siya kay BP Sara. Pero bistado naman siya eh. Bistado naman siya. Na kung bakit inantay pa niya, na i-announce. Siya nga yung nag-announce nung diba, nung dati, iblinag ko. Huwag kayong maniniwala muna sa listahan na inilabas ni Sen Amy. She was very proud. Nung kumakalat na hindi makikipag-alyansa ang mga Duterte sa Marcoses, plural po yun, Marcoses. Kasali siya doon. Ay biglang bumalentong, to use the word of my good friend, and excellent political blogger na si Trexie Villa. Ulitin ko, kung matino ang pag-iisip nyo, bakit inatay ni Sen Amy na mai-announce officially ang listahan bago niya sabihan ang kanyang kapatid na hindi niya tinatanggap ang pagiging kandidato ng niya sa kanyang partido sa Alliance of Parties. That is very disappointing considering that she is the sister of the president. Kaya di po ako nagkakamali sa aking thumbnail eh. So, tukuyin natin ang balita. Okay. Ito. Senator Amy Marcos ay hindi ko makita yung hindi ko makikita. Senator Amy Marcos on 2025 re-election bid, I choose to stand alone. Meaning mga kaibigan, tinatanggihan niya ang pagkakandidato niya under the alliance of parties. Yan nga nung una ko, I am the first political blogger who saw it. In one of my LS, ang headline ko ay Amy snubs PBBM and PFP. So tama ang aking analysis ulit. Of all the political bloggers po. Tingnan nyo, ako lang sabi yata na inisnab ni Sen Amy si PBBM at PFP. Mapapatunayan yan na aking mga manunood. Gusto nyo kunin ko yung actual na thumbnail ko? Okay. Balita. Patuloy tayo sa balita. Senator Amy thanked her brother, Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. for including her in the administration's senatorial slate in 2025. Alam nga naman, hindi naman siya sasabihin ni PBBM na, kasali ka dito sa listahan ng aking mga kandidato. Sasabihan niya ni PBBM ang kanyang kapatid. Okay. Sabi ni GNL, basahin natin. It will give me pleasure to find out that Sen Amy doesn't get the votes to be re-elected to the Senate. Kaya nga ang kakala niya masyadong malakas ang DDS. Mapapansin niyo mamaya na tama po ako in my analysis. Okay. I cannot, nahihirapan ako to go. Sabi niya, andali hindi teki si tatay. But said, sabi daw niya, she chose to stand alone so her brother will no longer be put in a difficult situation. Mas lalo nalagay sa alanganin ng kanyang kapatid sa pag-withdraw niya sa kanyang kandidatura under the banner of the alliance of the PFP and other parties. Di ba? Napunta siya sa alanganin. Sinabi ko nga nung declaration, yung bearing of the senatorial slate, sinabi ko sa live ko, huwag mo nang pagtakpan ang iyong kapatid. Pasabayan. Diyos ko. Tumama na naman ako. Ay, walang nanonood dito, pero parating tumatama ang aking sinasabi. Okay. Many thanks also to ANP, Nationalist Party, and to all my allies who continue to support me. May your trust remain with me. And to my allies who continue to support me. At sino ang kaalyado niya? Di ba, mga Duterte? Di ba? Sino ang kaalyado ng superate? Ang mga Duterte. Tingnan niyo ang aking thumbnail. Dahil ba gusto niyang iboto siya ng DDS? May your trust remain in me. Sabi ba nga niya, dapat hindi na siya pagdudahan. Sino ba ang nagdududa sa kanya? Political analysis lang yan. Ang nagdududa sa kanya na hindi na raw siya iboboto ay mga DDS. Yun ang gusto niyang makorner na boto. Pero winamaringan kita siya namin. Huwag ka mamangka sa dalawang ilog. Kasi si Badong Aratiles na mismo ang nagsabi, hindi na makapagtitiwalaan si Sen Aimee. At hindi na siya iboboto ng mga DDS. Naniniwala ko kay Badong Aratiles. Siya po ang nagsabi niyan. At marami pong naniniwala kay Badong Aratiles. Okay. Yan po katotohanan. Maski anong gawin mo, dahil ang mga DDS ay galit kay PBBM na gusto nilang palitan. Kasi Marcos ka daw, ay hindi ka na po iboboto ng mga DDS. Yun ang analysis dyan. Kung sino man nag-a-advise sa'yo, ay dapat sisantihan mo na yan. It will cause your defeat. Kung manalo ka man, nasa laylayan ka. Lumalabas na yan sa survey, pang-10 ka na lang. Pwede pang bumagsak ka. Sabi mo pa, you will stick with the Dutertes through thick and thin. Through thick and thin. Kung ano man na mangyari, sa Duterte ka pa rin. You are true to your word. That's why you keep on fighting the policies of your very good president, your brother. I am so disappointed. I was going to make a blog that I will vote for Sen Aimee if under the 3 conditions. Number 1, she condemns the ED killings of under that Duterte administration. That is the first priority. The second is that she is going to condemn China. And the third is she does not always contradict the policies of her brother. Those are the 3 conditions which might cause me to vote for Sen Aimee. But I guess she will never do that. So voting for Sen Aimee is a foregone conclusion as far as I am concerned. Nag-English ako kasi I am animated. I can more clearly state my thoughts and opinions. Okay. But as of now, it's that my vote for her is down the drain. Okay, patuloy tayo sa balita. However, the senator said she chose to remain free and loyal, not to any group, but to every Filipino. Very nice sounding words. But ultimately, ang purpose niya is to corner the votes of the DDS, which unfortunately, Sen Aimee is only represented by 8%. According to a recent survey, 16% of Filipinos support the Dutertes. After the 16%, 50% are the ones who are really loyal to the Dutertes. The 20% ay so support sa mga Dutertes. So 50% of 16% is 8%. So she is making a wrong political calculation. Okay. That is one. Ginagamit pa niya ang kanyang tatay, hoping to capture also yung votes na mga loyalist. Kasi yung mga loyalista ay nasyadong mahal na mahal ng dating presidente Ferdinand Edelin Marcos. So, ginagamit niya ang tatay niya para makumbinsi ang mga loyalista na bumoto sa kanya. No way. Yeah. No way. No way, Jose. Okay. Sabi niya, today marks the 35th year since my father passed away. But his teachings remain in my heart as his eldest, I choose to stand free and firm like him. Ginagaya niya ang sarili niya sa kanyang ama na si Ferdinand Edelin Marcos in believing that there should be no allegiance but to the Filipino people. Naglalakay na ako kaya I have to watch. Okay. Yan, mapanggamit yan si Senator Amy. Pero sa mga ibang botante tulad ko, tulad ni Janelle, ay bistado siya. Okay. Ay bistado si Manang Amy. Ngayon, kasi naging masyadong malapit sa mga Duterte. That's just one admirable, magagalit kayo sa akin, one admirable qualities of Senami is yung poprotektahan niya yung mga kaibigan niya. But this is also not very desirable character of Senami. Sabi ni Janelle, that statement is contrary to her actions. Really, that is correct. Kasi ang allegiance niya ay sa bansa, sa tao. Pinagpapatay yung mga tao, tapos aalyado ka ba sa mga nagpapapatay? Kala ko ba your allegiance is to the people? Very correct, GNL. Naku, Senami, you're digging your political grave. We, the people, the voters, are beginning to distrust you, not believe you, because you do not complain about the EDK killings. You remain silent. But whenever there is a policy of your younger brother, you constantly attack. When it comes to the policies of the Duterte administration, you sometimes complain, but just a murmur, not so loud as against your brother. Oh, I am going to ask the DDS, with this development, are you going to vote for Senami, who is a Marcos? Maka Trojan horse yan ni PBBM. Okay, ulitin ko. Okay. Yan po. Kaya po binastos ni Senami ang kanyang kapatid. Inantay niyang i-announce ng kanyang kapatid na kasali siya. I'm very proud pa siya, nakasali si PBBM. Parang sinampal si PBBM na ayaw ko sa partido mo. Hindi ba pambabasos yun? Kung sa'yo nangyari yun, hindi ba pambabasos yun? Kayo na mumusga. Hindi na ako. Mali ba po ba? Ang dahilan niyan is gusto niya iboto siya ng DDS. Sabi niya, my true friends, you should not doubt me. Sabi niya, niakala niyang true friends is ang mga DDS, mga Duterte. Eh, siyempre, pag sinabi ng mga Duterte na iboto yan si Amy, eh, siyempre iboboto yan. Karamihan sa kanila. Pero, gagawin ba yan ng mga Duterte? Sinabi ni Sara Duterte na hindi na siya makikipagayan sa mga Marcoses, hindi lang sa isang Marcos. Plural po. Plural. Marcoses na political family. Sino nasa politics na Marcoses? As far as national positions is concerned, or national positions are concerned. Senami in the Senate and PBBM in the presidency. Hindi po. So, ibig sabihin, babaliktad na naman si BP Sara sa kanyang sinabi. Wala siyang consistency. Kaya nga pala, when it comes to BP Sara, bakit tahimik siya for several days? Magmula nang nagsalita si Undersecretary Mercado. Tingnan niyo yung news story. Kayo na ang mumusga. Di ba kayo nagtataka? Matabil magsama magsalita si BP Sara. Bakit? For 4 days yata wala na siyang sinasabi. Hindi ba kayo nagtataka? Ang aking analysis dyan, ay naghahanap sila ng ammunition laban kay Undersecretary Mercado. Pero pati si Loren Legarda ay vinapouch po ang integrity ni Undersecretary Gloria Mercado. Yung si Tony Lavinia, vouchers for the integrity of Gloria Mercado. Ang next thumbnail ko nga sasabihin ko na in advance. Gloria, Undersecretary Mercado, siya ba ang magpapabagsak kay BP Sara? Yan ang susunod na tatalakayin ko sa next LS ko. Yun na, ina-announce ko na. Alamin natin kung ano ang naging work experience ni Gloria Mercado na sabi niya ay unreliable witness, sabi ni BP Sara. Okay, sinabi niya, the Quadcom should stop presenting witnesses who are not credible. But others say from the Senate and other political analysts that she is very credible with evidences po. Kaya malilintikan si BP Sara. Ito, patuloy tayo sa mga news story. The OBP budget sponsored na insulto sa diskarte ni Sara. Ang budget sponsor sa ating kalaman, mga DDS, mga dilawan, mga loyalista, at saka mga progibo, apat na po yan. Mga DDS, mga loyalista, mga dilawan na man pro-Gibo. Dito po ay pro-Gibo. Ang sponsor po, pag nagdidebate po, marong nag-sponsor to defend the budget. Ang naturang sponsor of the budget of the Vice President ay si Congressman Jong from Mindanao. Pero dito sa balita, from Abante, OBP budget sponsor inainsulto sa diskarte ni Sara. Kasi si Sara po, si BP Sara, ay mag-a-appear sa Senate hearing o sa plenary ng Senate. Pero sa plenary ng Kongreso, ay hindi siya nag-appear. Ang sabi ng isang lawyer, that is not taking an oath daw is an impeachable offense. Ay, duda ko naman sa sinasabi ng lawyer na yun. I don't know, hindi ako maalam sa batas. O ito, siyempre kung ikaw ang magdi-defend, if you are the designated sponsor and defender of the OBP budget, wouldn't you feel insulted also that she did not help you in defending the budget? Naghihirap ka. Dapat man lang sinabihan siya the pros and cons of her budget. Or yung explanation for the line item at least. My goodness. Selective ba si BP Sara? Okay. Tungkayin natin. You see. Inamin ni Lanao del Sur, Representative Zia Alonto Adjong, Lanao del Sur, di ba? Sa Mindanao po yan, na siya ay nainsulto sa sinabi ni Vice President Sara Duterte na siya ay dadalo sa bandinig ng Senado kaugnay ng panukalang budget ng kanyang tanggapan para sa 25. Aten siya kasi gusto niyang padagdagan ang budget niya na ang pinasalang ng Kongreso ay 733 million. So, aten siya para madagdagan ang budget na. Ito pa, ang mga DDS, makinig kayo sa argumento. Ang sabi niya, 2 tao lang ang nagpo-control ng budget. Kung 2 tao lang ang budget, bakit siya aaten sa Senado? Ibig sabihin, nambubudol lang siya tungkol sa kanyang sinasabi. Kung 2 tao lang ang nagko-control ng budget at nanggagaling yung 2 tao sa Kongreso, sa Kamara, bakit pa siya magsasayang ng panahon para umattend sa Senado? Di ba inconsistent yung sinasabi niya? Mag-isip kayo, mga kaibigan. Kung talagang 2 tao lang ang nagko-control at ang pinasa ng Kongreso ay 733, di sunod-sunuran na lang ng Senado sa pagbasa ng 730 billion na Office of the Vice President budget. Bakit siya atin? So naniniwala siya na pwede pang dagdagan ang kanyang budget. So, ibig sabihin, nambubudol lang siya sa kanyang sinasabi na 2 tao lang ang nagpo-control ng budget. Di ba? Pag-isipan niyo mabuti, mga DDS, ang sinasabi ko. Okay. Hindi, analysis po yan. Hindi haka-haka, hindi sabi-sabi. Tulad ng pag-analyze ko ng pag-snub ni Sen Amy sa kay PBBM at PFP. Okay. Personally, sabi niya, Jong, to be honest with you, I personally feel insulted. Siya po ang magdi-defend ng kanilang budget. Sabi niya Jong, yung sponsor is the defender of the OBP budget. At ng panukalang budget ng OBP para sa susunod na taon. Sabi pa niya, dagdag pa niya. If you would ask me personally, I would say that she's selective. That does not speak well, they speak highly of an official, especially the one occupying the second highest position in the land. Correct. Being the second highest official of the land, she should set a good example po. Don't make it. Good manners and right conduct lang po yan. Okay. Yan po ang balita. Dagdag pa ni Adjong, isang assistant majority leader. Punta man tayo sa ating kandidato. Sa 2028. Okay. But before that, napapansin nyo na si Gibo Teodoro is always on the side of PBBM. Nung opening of the Pangkil Bridge, nandun siya. Ngayon, isa na naman. Isa na naman, okasyon, okay? Whereby makikita natin si Presidente Marcos with. Sino kasama niya? Okay, papakita ko sa inyo. Okay, papakita ko sa inyo. Naglalaro yun naman ako. Naatake ko ng mga DDS na tululaway ko. Admitted. Matanda na ako eh. Nakikita nyo ba? Sinong kasama niya? Naka-blue? Sige po na naman. Na hindi niya pinagkandidato sa pagka-senador. Kasi kailangan niyang isang bisig yan. Katubang niya tungkol sa napakabigat na problema sa West Philippine Sea. May plano yan para sa 2028. Kaya gusto ko kayong hiyakatin na tuputan po si Gibo Teodoro. Mag-subscribe na po kayo sa channel ng Gibo Teodoro for 2028. In fact, gayahin nyo siyang pinakamagaling na commenter. Ininagdag niya ang GTFP na Gibo Teodoro for President 2028 yan. Okay. So, pakinggan natin. Ang maganda rito ay ang Misamis Oriental na dati ay isang lugar na puno ng NPA ay now insurgency free. Another achievement of that's supposed to be tamad at walang ginagawang presidente. Okay. Kanina lang nakita namin ang ginagawa niya now he succeeded in convincing the Australian government to help in the manufacture of batteries for EV. Marso lang niya ginawa. Ngayon, kompleto na yun, nakaproduce na sila ng EV battery. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this juncture, may we request the Department of National Defense Secretary Gilberto C. Teodoro Jr.
Okay, yan. Nung Panggil Bridge, nandun naman siya. Okay. Hindi ba kayo, hindi niyo ba na-analyze yan? Kung gaano siya kalapit sa presidente?
To introduce our guest of honor and speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines and our Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
The future president introducing the current president. Yan po ang news dyan. Sa akin the future president introducing the current president. Okay.
Thank you, Secretary.
Don't forget to also patronize or go to subscribe Rising Flag TV channel. He is also through Gibo Teodoro. Okay.
Gilbert Teodoro, for your kind introduction. Please be seated. To the lead agency when it comes to our peace efforts, not only here in Misok, but in all of the conflict areas. The Peace and Reconciliation and Unity Advisor, Secretary Charlie Galvez Jr. The Mindanao Development Authority Secretary, Secretary Leo Magno. Misamis Occidental 1st District Representative Jason Almonte. Misamis Occidental 2nd District Representative Sancho Minal. And our, hindi ko na lang sasabihin old friend kasi mahahalata tayo. Pare-pareho, we were all together, magkasama kami together with Secretary Gilbert Teodoro when we were a little younger than we are now sa Kabataang Barangay. And we have been working together since then to our good governor, Governor Henry O. Eminal. Tangub City Mayor, Mayor Sabiniano Kanama, and the other elected officials, both of the province and of the city, ang aking mga kasamahan sa pamahalaan, ating pinaka-importante, ang ating mga kasama rito na hindi po ang kapayapaan ay hindi po na ipapanalo ng isang tao lamang. Kaya lahat po kayo, lahat po ng ating mga military, lahat po ng ating mga civilian government, kayo po, at lalo na ang mga beneficiary ngayon natin, kayo ang pinakamahalaga na bisita namin ngayong araw na ito. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We are gathered here today to celebrate a historic occasion, one that also took time in the making, the declaration of Misamis Occidental as an insurgency-free province.
So wala nang giyera sa Misamis Oriental. Hey, achievement of PBBM ulit yan. Can you deny it, mga DDS? Na it's an achievement ulit? Napapansin ko lang. Ngayon, congratulations mga DDS. Bihira na sa mga vloggers nyo ang umatake kay PBBM directly. You search the YouTube o internet, bihira na pong mga DDS ang umaatake directly kay PBBM. Nagising na sila siguro sa katotohanan na yung efforts nila ay contributing to the decline in the popularity of the Duterte, ang kanilang mga inidolo. So I did correctly, as I might hasten to say, that they are pointing their arrows on the Congress. Kasi sila, ang Kongreso, ang siyang tumitira sa mga Duterte. Yan. Dapat yung gawin. But do it in the legal manner, positive manner. Kapag mong pag-iimbestigahan ang mga private lives of Congress, fall po yan. You just, I would advise them, you just debunk yung mga sinasabi na mali ng mga Kongreso. Okay.
As I mentioned in my last State of the Nation address, we have come a long way in our quest for lasting peace. After years of consistent and resolute security, peace, and community building, we have succeeded in our campaign to end the decades of conflict in the 60 barangays in your province.
Of the decades long. Ilang dekada yan? Ang isang dekada ay 10 taon. Okay. So, malaking achievement po yan ni President Bongbong Marcos ng AFP ng mga kapulisan at saka ng local government unit
that were once in the clutches of insurgent movements. We have successfully dismantled the key leadership of the former insurgents operating in Misamis Occidental, which have now led to their reintegration into society. Thanks to the DALG and the AFP, we have provided peace, community development, and reintegration programs for those who have returned to the fold of the law. From 2021 to 2023, 51 barangays were identified as recipients of the Barangay Development Program, what we call BDPs, a very integral and important part of our peace efforts. As of September this year, 46 of those projects have been completed, 17 are now ongoing.
Okay. Yung mga proyekto, 46 na ang completed. Anong sabi ng mga DDS? Walang ginagawa si Presidente Marcos, kundi magangaw-ngaw.
Going implementation. 44 of these projects are farm-to-market roads. 2 involve the construction and development of roads and bridges. 9 projects focus on water supply systems. And on the other hand, the remaining 8 projects are health stations, rural electrification, and the rehabilitation of schools. This strong collaboration among the national and local governments, the military, the police, and the community has allowed us to transform what was once a conflict-affected area into now a peaceful community. This transformation is evident in places like Oyohoy, like Tangub City, which has now evolved into a symbol of progress. In fact, one of the main tourism projects of the local government, the Ascenso Global Gardens, is situated in Oyohoy. This is a tangible outcome of what our collective effort towards peace and development can do. This demonstrates that peace brings more opportunities for growth, investment, and social services for future generations. Earlier today, we inaugurated the longest water-spanning bridge in Mindanao, the Panguil Bay Bridge. It will, of course, facilitate connectivity with Lanao del Norte. But more than that, this project intends to spur economic growth for the province and the opportunities for Misamisnons. The experience of Misamis Occidental speaks volumes about the importance of addressing the root causes of insurgency. Peace will neither be attainable or sustainable without accompanying development. And these things work hand in hand. Hindi natin maitapos ang Panguil Bay Bridge na napaka-importante kung hindi mapayapa ang kanilang pinupuntahan. Kung hindi mapayapa at makapasok ang ating mga construction para mabuo itong napaka-importante na tulay na aming.
Kaya siguro hindi natapos during the Duterte administration kasi may problema. Hindi mo naman mabiblame si President Duterte sa hindi pagkatapos ng proyekto. Dahil hindi pa insurgency-free ang probinsya ng Misamis Occidental. Pero it took PBBM yung efforts niya to make it insurgency-free para makumpleto po yung Panguil Bridge. Yan po, makonektado po yan. Ang sabi niya, hindi mo magagawa ang Panguil Bridge kung wala pong kapayapaan. Okay. Yan ang statement mismo ng presidente. Okay.
In-inaugurate at binuksan kanina. This is why the aggressive implementation of socio-economic intervention by bringing investments in education, health, infrastructure, livelihood, help prevent the recurrence of conflict here in Misamis Occidental. It is our hope.
Pakiusap ko yung mga nanonood po dyan, hindi pa nagsusubscribe, mag-subscribe na po kayo kasi wala pong fake news dito sa aming channel. Magkakontramon tayo ng pananaw, at least garantisadong hindi po fake news ang channel ni Tatay Jack Fords. Okay?
Through this administration's programs and projects, we will sustain the stability, the peace, and the progress in the home of all of those from Misamis Occidental. However, as we celebrate today's gains, we cannot rest here. We must remain vigilant against the emerging threats that undermine these hard-won gains. I ask the local government units of Misamis Occidental to intensify collaboration with various government agencies, partners, and other stakeholders to thwart any posturing or coming back that terrorist groups or any of their financiers or supporters may still be contemplating. Let us harness the power of peace to uplift the province, this region, and this nation to unparalleled heights. Let Misamis Occidental stand as a shining example of what can be achieved when we work for the greater good together.
Yay!
With us perpetuating the peace efforts that we made here, I know that soon we will be able to declare the entire country, the entire republic as insurgency-free. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay ang Misamis Occidental, mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
Okay. Diba tama po sa presidente, kaya pa kapayapaan ang dapat mamalagi sa ating bansa. Mahirap pang mag-Tagalog, okay? That's why if there is peace, there will be more investments. There will be more economic activities leading to economic progress. Ganyan po ang effort niya sa holistic approach po ng ating presidente. Yan po hindi lang sa efforts ng kasundaluhan, pero kasama dyan ang private citizens and local government units and also other agencies of the government. Kaya mahusay po talaga mamahala ang ating presidente. Okay. Punta na tayo sa ating future president na si Gibo Teodoro. Anong sabi niya? So, direkta po magsalita si Gibo Teodoro. Okay. Sabi ni Gibo Teodoro, Bamban Pogo's proximity to military base should have been flagged. So, ibig sabihin niyan, dapat nung pa lang na yung Pogo na in-establish ng mga Chinese na malapit sa military base ay dapat ng tinutulan or inimbestigahan or flag. Maraming ibig sabihin yan. Sabi niya, local authorities should have raised concern about the proximity of Bambanstam, Philippine offshore gaming operator Pogo hub to a key military base. Malapit po yan kasi sa Clark. I don't know what military base he's talking about. Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro said on Monday. Teodoro noted that the Pogo hub linked to dismissed Mayor Alice Go is very close to Camp O'Donnell. Camp O'Donnell pala. Mali po ako. Kala ko Clark. Yan. Inaamin ko ang aking pagkakamali. Camp O'Donnell pala ang may mention based in Capastarla. Kaya pala ang alapit-lapit. Tangingot talaga si Tatay Jack, no? Kala ko Clark. Mas malapit pa pala ang Camp O'Donnell kasi nasa Capastarla mismo ang Camp Capastarlac ang Camp O'Donnell. Malapit yan sa Bamban. Sabi niya. And sabi niya, it is curious that a 32-building complex was operating within 2 minutes of flying time away from TRADOC, Training and Doctrine Command, and the Light Armor Division Headquarters, Gibo Teodoro said on an ambush interview in Camp Aguinaldo. Hindi ko pa nahahanap talaga yung video. Mas maganda po na mayroong video. Pag nahanap ko po, I promise to give it to you. Pero kayo na ang humusga para alam nyo hindi fake news po. Ganyan po kasimpleng mag-discuss si future President Gibo Teodoro. Sasabihin ko, kung mayroon kayong ibang kandidato, itala nyo ang qualification ni Gibo Teodoro at itala nyo ang mga qualification ng inyong napupusuang kandidato at pagkumparahan nyo ang kanilang qualification. At pagkatapos nyo may kumpara ang qualification, pinili kayo ang mas mabigat ang kwalifikasyon para sa kabutihan at sa ikauunlad ng ating bayan. Hindi po name just because may pangalan. Iniidolo nyo ay iyon na ang boboto nyo. Mali natin ang ating bayan. Sabi ng presidente mismo. Okay. Isa pa. The future president speaks. Okay. Gibo, Secretary Gibo, this China to dismantle nukes and end hostile posture. By Rex Espirito, September 26, 2024, coming from Manila Standard. So, ito, dinidin niya. Kaya, palagay ko, marami ng kokontra kay Gibo Teodoro based on the propaganda arm of China. They are afraid also that he might become the president of the Philippines in 2028. Because they know that it's going to follow up with the policies of PBBM concerning the West Philippine Sea, because believe you me, the architects of the West Philippine Sea policies are PBBM and Gibo Teodoro. Sino ang nagkakata? And good news po, hindi ko lang na-presenta, siguro bukas, and mayroon na pong slated na joint patrol between like-minded nations like US, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. Balita yan, fresh po yan. Hindi ko lang nailagay. I will bring it to you perhaps tomorrow. That is a good news. Matagal na iminumungkahi ng channel na ito na ganyan po ang gawin. At sa wakas, after a long time, ganyan ang gagawin nila. Sometimes I think siguro minomonitor itong channel ko na napakaliit ng palasyo. Kadalasan ang mungkahin namin dito ng mga intelihenteng commenters po. Napapansin niyo, magko-commenter rito ang tatalino, especially GNL. Si Ruel Lingan, Arin Tusen, si Toblerone, si Ma'am Jo, these are intelligent commenters. Si Lady Queen Bee, the pet lover, magagaling pong magkomento yan. Talagay ko, siyempre, ang palasyo, the PC office, tinitignan ng mga vloggers. Tinitignan ko ng mga komento. At dito sa channel ko, ay puro matatalino ang nagkakwento. Hindi ako na, pumili kayo ng channel dyan. Ikumpara nyo sa mga comments ng mga viewers ko. Wala, hindi sila obra sa mga nagko-comment sa channel ko. Walang balahuraan dito. Stick to the issues. Kung may balahuraan ito, yung mga DDS na nambabasos po. Okay. So, sabi niya, Gibo, China to dismantle Ryuk's hostile posture. Anong masama po sa sinabi ng future president? Di ba? Dapat lang. Okay, sabi niya, the Philippine Defense Chief dared China, hinamon ng China, to dismantle its own missile capabilities, including its nuclear arsenal, instead of insisting on the disarmament of countries it is threatening. Natural yun. Diba? Logical lang yun. Kayo na nananakot sa amin ay mayroong missile. Diba? Logical po yung pagsabi niya. Kung mayroon kayong missile, bakit hindi nyo kami payagang magkaroon ng missile? Dapat para madali nyo kaming masuheto. It's easy for you to conquer us because we do not have any missiles to fight you. Ganyan ang logic. Ganyan ang pakikipag-argue sa China. Biro mo. Halimbawa, in a simple term, yung isa may balisong. Malaking tao na siya, may balisong. Yung ordinary tao, may balisong din. Okay, para maglaban tayo, sabi niya dun sa maliit, alisin mo yung balisong. Di, papapayag ba yung malita tao na itapon niya ang balisong niya para labanan ang may balisong? Ganyan po ang logic. Kasi ang China may missiles. tayo may kunting missiles. Pinapatanggal ng China ang ating mga missiles not supplied by the US. Tama ba? Na susundin natin ang kagustuhan ng China? Magaling pong makipag-argue si future president. Kaya bilib na bilib po ako dyan. Okay. Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro made the remarks after China claimed that the extended stay of the United States Typhoon or Mid-Range Capability MRC missile system in the Philippines is a move to turn back the wheel of history. Ay, mga pautot ng mga Chinese ito. Hindi rin ako babayag yan. Kaya nga, kagagawan din nila. There was a time that the Philippines, ang gusto nila, temporary lang yung placement of the Typhoon missiles in the country. But recent developments, yung pagbabangga nila sa Teresa Magbanwa at saka panggigipit sa ating mga Navy vessels and Coast Guard vessels. Ngayon, nagbago na ang isipan. They want the Typhoon class missiles permanently dito sa ating bansa. Why? Because they are capable of reaching China itself. Pwedeng may fire yan to reach China. So, quid daw ang China. Kalapit pa ang Taiwan na mayroong missiles din na pwede pong mag-strike sa China. Ang Japan po ay ganun din. Ang South Korea ay ganun din. Kaya, malabo pong magkakaroon ng giyera because of the presence of missile threat from allied countries of the Philippines. Okay. Dito kayo mag-stick sa channel ko. Teodoro said, if other countries feel uncomfortable with Manila bolstering its deterrent capabilities, they should lead by example and dismantle their ballistic missiles or nuclear armament. So, di ba? Kasimple-simple ang patutsada ng susunod ng presidente ng ating bansa. Di ba? Okay. It seems to me that before other countries interfere with the creation of our credible defense posture, na mukhang napabayaan ng nakaraang mga administrasyon. At sinasabi ko ay mga administrasyon. Hindi lang ang administrasyon ni Presidente Duterte. They should first stop their illegal activities and get out of the West Philippine Sea. Take away their ballistic capabilities and destroy their nuclear arsenal, Teodoro said. Yan po. Ang galing talaga ni Gibo Teodoro. Teodoro said such actions are in line with the government's comprehensive archipelagic defense posture, which aims to protect the country against the incursions in its exclusive economic zone. Anong mali po sa sinabi niya? Anong mali po sa sinabi niya? Mga kapatid, mga kapwa Pilipino, mga kapwa nagmamahal sa ating bansa. particularly in the West Philippine Sea and the Philippine Rise. Sabi pa niya, we will do what needs to be done. Gagawin namin ang kinakailangan para magkaroon ng persang pang-deter, to stop the hostile activities of the other country. So, deter po, discourage the other country to posture credible deterrent posture. I-google natin ang deter. Anong ibig sabihin? I think deter is to discourage. Okay? And okay, Google ko lang ang ibig pong sabihin ng deter. Baka mamaya sabi niyo, nambubudol po ako sa aking sinasabi. Okay? Kung mali po ko, aminin ko. Okay. Ito po ang patunay na alam ko po ang aking sinasabi. Okay. Kagugugol ko lang ang ibig kong sabihin by deter. Kasi mahirap kong translate sa Tagalog. Okay. Diba sabi ko discourage? O ito. Ito ang ibig sabihin ng deter. Yung sinabi ko, discourage. Deter. Discourage from doing something by instilling doubt or fear of consequences. Diba yan sinabi ko? As always, ayaw kong budulin kayo. When I say something, I try to substantiate what I am saying. Okay, sinabi ko to discourage kanina. Okay. Yan na po. So, that is the end of my news stories. Sa araw na ito, nakita natin na si Presidente Marcos ay mabait. Medyo pinagtatakpan niya ang kanyang super ate. Nakita rin natin na nagtatrabaho ang ating presidente tulad ng successful launching of the factory ng batteries for electric vehicles. Nakita rin natin na nagtatrabaho siya para mapapapayapa ang ating mga lugar sa ating kapuluan. Diba? Yan ay measure of the success and the work of our president. Nung sabi ng mga DDS na hindi siya nagtatrabaho. So, thank you all. Sana nag-comment kayo. Kasi babasahin ko yan. Okay. Nagkamali ba ako sa akin thumbnail na binastos ni Sen Aimee si PBBM, palusot lang siya. Kasi po, ang haba-haba ng panahon, sabi niya, dapat sinabihan na niya ang kanyang nakababatang kapatid na si BBM na wag mo na akong isali, please, para hindi ka mapahiya. Sa totoo lang, diba, napahiya si Presidente Bongbong Marcos kung napahiya pa, diba, pambabasos yun, yung ginawa ng super ate. Okay, ulitin ko. Nung unang nabalita natin yan, ako ang unang nasabi na inisnab ni Superati, si PBBM at at ang PFP. Nandyan po, hanapin niyo sa playlist. Nandun po ang aking thumbnail. Na ako ang nagsabi na Sen Amy snubs PBBM and Partido Federal of the Pilipinas. Partido Federal ng Pilipinas. Okay. So, salamat sa mga kulang-kulang na 1,000 nanood sa aking broadcast ngayon. So, tignan ko lang, ano? Ay, mahigit 1,000 ang nanood sa aking broadcast ngayon, 1,026. Okay, patunayan ko sa inyo na totoo po yung sinasabi ko. Oh, 1,069 pala ang nanood. Okay, patutunayan ko na totoo yung sinasabi ko, no? Okay. Ito, as usual po, hindi ko magsisunagaling sa inyo. Kaya ko pinapasukan na ng mga DDS at binabasus ako eh. Dahil dito, last 48 hours, ang aking viewers is 2,284. Hindi pa kumpleto ang detalye dyan. Okay. Ayan po. Ang performance po, watch PBM video on Sen Amy, binastos ba ni Sen Amy si PBM dahil sa lalabas po na 1,075 po ang nanood. Thank you sa mga 1,075 na nanood. Sana man lang mag-subscribe kayo sa aking channel para patuloy na ang progreso ng ating channel na hindi nagbibigay ng fake news. Matapang ang kanyang opinion pero ang news po ay tunay, hindi po fake. Kaya po mag-subscribe na kayo, supportan nyo ang aking channel. Dito po may mga dilawan, may mga DDS, may mga loyalista, may mga pro-Gibo. Ako po ay pro-Gibo. Hindi po ako sa tatlo. So, pero ang binabalita ko ay totoo. So, that will end po ang aking live stream. Patugtog lang po ako ng aking final song. Okay? Salamat sa inyong panunood. No, diplomatic eh.
Halina kayo, Katatay Jack, First Channel. Pag siya ay nagsasalita, maiintindihan mo ang mga balita. Mga balitang tunay na may ebidensya. Itutuwid ang balitang mali. Ang fake news. Yung mga balitang walang pinagbabasihan. Kaya makinig na kayo at magkomento at ating pag-usapan. Pinapakinggan ang opinyon mo at ito'y nirespeto. Tayo'y magtalakayan at may kantahan dito. Pantay-pantay tayo lahat kay Tatay Jack. Tatay Jack, First Channel. First Channel. Nagmamahal, loyalista ating Pangulo. Para sa bayan nito. Bayan nito. Minamahal ni Tatay Jack ang bayang Pilipino. Kaya halina kayo. Halina kayo. Mag-subscribe na at mag-bell all para sa susunod. Dapat malaman nyo. Malaman nyo. Ang balitang tunay sa ating bansang Pilipinas. Ating nakakalamunan. Loyalista pagmamahal sa ating mga Pilipino. Kaya tinutuwid ang balitang mali. Mga fake news. Kaya mag-komento na at magtanongay. Pantay-pantay tayo dito. Pinapakinggan ang opinyon mo at respeto. May pinagbabasihan dito. At may kantahan pa. Kantahan dyan. Tatay Jack.